Now, you've heard it 1,000 times. Trading is 90% psychology and 10% strategy. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but let me tell you something, and you really need to understand what I'm about to share with you in this video. Why do you think most people fail at trading? If you're watching this video, you're probably in that same situation and you cannot get over the life obstacles or trading obstacles. Now, this book, my friends, this book, Awareness by Anthony DeMello, is going to give you very clear insight about awareness and really going to help you with your trading. Now, I've read this book for the second time over the Christmas period, and it's a short read. It's only, what we're talking about, 180 pages. But if you take the time to read this and digest what he's actually speaking about, you can replicate this and put this into your trading. And there's a few key points that I want to speak about today from the book that really going to help you with your trading. Now, we all know that fear, greed, hope are the big problems, okay? And that's a lack of emotional control, a lack of self-awareness, and that detachment from the outcome before the trade, after the trade, during the trade, etc. And that's stopping you from getting consistent profits. I know this because I went through that journey and still go through that journey to this day, but nowhere near as much. So that makes me profitable. Now, it is not a trading book, okay? I must state that this is not a trading book, all right? And to be honest, nearly all trading books tell you the same thing. I'd only recommend probably one, which is Trading in the Zone, and I would recommend Best Loser Wins because it's a different approach to your trading. But they're the only two books that you need. What you need is to understand how your mind works in trading. That's why 99.9% of the people fail. One company this month, in December, should I say, revenue was 15 million. That tells you there must be around 200,000 failed traders just in that company in December. And you're more than likely one of those. I've been in one of those many times for a period of a long time as well. And it wasn't until I shifted and started to think about the mindset and how to do this thing that's so elusive and so hard to really get where I needed to get to. And this book is one of the books that I recommend that you go and get, okay? So let's jump into some key points that Anthony DeMello speaks about, right? It's all about awareness. So what is awareness? Well, we look at the key concepts, okay? And let's look at this. And how can we then bring this into our trading? So the first thing is the power of awareness over your emotions. Most traders are slaves. Most traders are slaves to their emotions. Most of us are slaves to our emotions through the day, whether you're in a normal job, whether you're in a relationship. You can be a slave, and you will be a slave to your emotions. In trading, it's fear, greed, and hope. Okay, now, if we're not aware of those emotions, we're done. We just drift through life. Another book, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. You become a drifter, which means you're just drifting, doing what everybody else does, copying the same things and not getting anywhere. And in trading, that is massive. If 99.9% of the people are failing, it means everybody's doing the same thing and drifting and actually not working on the one thing that they need to work, which is the mindset. Now, awareness is going to teach us to observe those emotions. Observe those emotions. How many times have you just gone off the handle or hit revenge trade, or you've gone on tilt, or you've risked too much? And you will do that even when you're profitable. You will do that. I did that yesterday. But when you're not aware of it, now then when I do it, I'm probably aware of it. I'm just taking the risk. But before, losing challenge after challenge, thousands after thousands in crypto, I was not aware, and because I did not observe what was actually going on. And I was then just reacting without understanding what is actually going on. That's the key part when it comes to, obviously, awareness. Now, put it into trading. Say you're seeing the markets fluctuate left, right, and center, and you're, absolutely delighted, you're euphoric, you've got all this euphoria about the trade moving to the upside and all these types of things. You're not aware of all these emotions and all these different dopamine hits actually going on all at once. And that's because the neocortex part of the brain and the amygdala are two different parts. I won't go into biology too much, but we need to get to the thinking part of the brain, and that's where the awareness comes in. Once we then work on these types of things and understand ourselves as a person, okay, and take the time to read and take the time to gain knowledge and etc. and things like this. And I'm not saying go and buy every self-improvement book and self-help book. I've already done that for you. They're nearly all the same, just worded in different stories. And they do work, but ultimately they're not going to make you a millionaire. They're going to give you the knowledge, but you need to take accountability and take action when it comes to that. And that's when we need to detach ourselves from the outcome. Now, this is aware, in the awareness, he speaks about God. I'm a Christian and things like that. And I have God quite a lot in my life. And I'm into Stoicism. So if you don't follow me in this channel, you may not know, but I'm massive into Stoicism, philosophy, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Lucius, all these types of things. As you can see here, the very early days of philosophy. And for me, it's gave me a focus alongside faith to trust in the journey, okay? And detach myself from the outcomes. As long as I put the action in, detach yourself from the outcomes, because the outcome is out of your control. You can only put the action in, which means if you click the trade when you shouldn't click the trade, you're not in control of the outcome. So what you want to try and do is understand that whatever you can control, you are the best at that, because you're not going to be able to control the outcome. Now, most people don't understand this, and we get frustrated. I see people crying and going crazy when their favorite sports team doesn't win a game or something crazy like that, or anything that we can't control. If we learn to detach from the outcome, which is very, very stoic, and put it in a higher power, it gives us freedom. That's true freedom in all areas of life, and definitely from your trading, is detaching yourself from the outcome, right? So how can I put it? If you don't tide yourself to the success or failure, okay, and just concentrate on what you need to do right now, it will be a very, very smooth ride with obstacles along the way, but you'll be able to smoothly get over those obstacles without huge stress or emotion or anxiety. That is detaching yourself from the outcome, okay? So you don't need to win every single trade. If you think like that, that's attaching yourself to the outcome. Follow your system, profits over process over profits, and allow the detachment to flow, and you will see that your trading will flow. Now, the next point to that, which is very, very close to that, is acceptance of reality. If you accept the reality of what is there, it will become a lot easier for you. When we fight reality, that's where suffering comes in, okay? When we fight reality, that's where the suffering starts to come in. And that's not what you want to do, okay? Suffering comes from resisting reality, and that's not what you want to do. The reality is you don't know how the markets are going to move. You have no idea how the markets are going to move. That's the reality. And if you think you do, you're going to get frustrated. If you try to predict, you're going to get frustrated. And awareness, again, in the book Anthony DeMello speaks about, is accepting the reality, because the reality is on the outside. What you're controlling is then on the inside, because you can't control the reality of the outside. And that's the trade that you've put on. Once you've put it on, that is out of your control. Only when you take profits, etc., things like that. Okay, so accept what the market gives you instead of forcing trades or denying losses. Very, very important. Next key point in this section, what I'm going to speak about, is overcoming fear and greed. Now, let me tell you, we know this. Awareness allows you to identify the roots of fears and all these desires. If you are aware of your thinking process, if you are aware of what you're actually doing right now, you will be able to remain calm, in control, and stoic, okay? Once you learn how to overcome fear and greed. Now, that's time in the market, people. That is time in the market. I can sit here, and on my students, I teach them over a 12-week period, and then they work with me in the background on their mindset. But ultimately, time on the charts is what's going to get you the fear and greed. I always say you can watch a million videos on swimming, but if I throw you in the pool, you're not going to last long. It's as simple as that. You need to be in the arena, and I've spoke about this on a previous video. That's the only way you're going to overcome the fear and greed. You can't control the market, but you can control your response to the market. You can't control the market, but you can control your response to the market. Now, fear is going to obviously prevent you from enduring good trades. It's also then going to stop you from getting into trades, and greed's then going to keep you in bad trades. Okay? Fear is going to stop you from getting in good trades, and greed is going to stop you from getting out of bad trades. So again, awareness will break that cycle. Now, this is a big thing for me, a very, very big thing for me. And staying present, being present in the moment. Now, you know when you go for a run and you might have the headphones on, or you're doing this, and sometimes my son or my children want to do something and I might be just looking at the phone or something. That's not being present. And in trading, you must be present. You must be present. You must have very, very clear, clear clarity, exactly what you're doing. But then when you get that and start to be aware of that, you start to understand. So what I do now is sometimes I go for a run with no music early in the morning and try and listen to the birds or try and listen to whatever. When my son asks me to do something, being aware to put it down and pay him attention, or when my daughters are having a conversation with me, or more importantly, probably my wife, so I don't get told off, that it's being present. Now, if you can do that in your day-to-day life with your relationships, your children, your spouse, at work, with people, this will then boil over, or spill over, should I say, into your trading. And that's really, really going to help you. Really, really going to help you when you're staying present. And by doing that, you're not going to live in the past of losing trades. How many times do you lose trades and then you're there all day and it's wrecking your head and it's in your mind? If you don't know, yesterday I took a trade, but we had a funeral. Yesterday I took a trade in the morning. I didn't want to stay in that. I closed it a little bit too early, and it would have 10x to my trade. Now, my circumstances were different because of the afternoon, and what was more important was where I was at in the afternoon. But if I was in that present moment, I probably would have kept that trade open. So being in the present moment is absolutely one thing that you could be, and this comes all in this book. And Anthony DeMello speaks about it all the time. So now I want to show you them. Obviously, you can do some practical exercises from that, books for traders. You can daily observation, check in with your emotions on a daily basis, write it down. I've got the Successful Man, which is a habit tracker and things like that. I've got the Daily Stoic, which will keep you centered. I talk about this book all the time. And these little things are going to help you build patience. They're going to help you maintain resilience, maintain discipline through winning or losing streaks. This is what these are going to do. But those habits alone are not going to be just enough. What they'll do is they'll make you aware of what you're actually doing. And the only way you're going to become aware of what you're actually doing is by tracking your daily habits and your thought processes, okay? That's very, very important. So some more key lessons that I want to speak about is here. So where are we? We've got one here, which is very, very important, right? So how are all these things going to lead to profitability? How is being aware, having a habit tracker, being aware that we can't lie in bed because the world is calling for us and we need something to do that. Being aware that 99.9% traders have lose, and some companies are making 15 million revenue off failing traders per month. So it shows you how these platforms are designed, etc., and all these types of things. And more importantly, how you're going to respond in this moment. Now, reading this book, it's not going to go to page 20. It's going to talk to you about how to read candles or anything like that. That's not what it's about. What it's about is simple things like, if I just go to the index and I'll just show you now, simple things like on waking up, simple things like that, on proper kind of selfishness, of what's happiness, all these spirituality. Are you talking about psychology? What's on your mind? Good luck or bad luck? Illusion, perceptions. These types of things in this book are what's going to help you. So one thing I've learned is if I want to read about certain things, a lot of the time you need to read books that are maybe away from that subject, but that align to that. So I've got a list of new books that I'm reading, and they have nothing to do with trading, nothing to do. And they don't really have a lot to do with self-development. They are autobiographies, or how the world order works and how power shifts, because we can learn from these people. Alexander the Great, Marcus Aurelius. We can learn from those people of how they lived their life back in the day. So this is how you're going to use these little things to obviously get to profitability, okay? So when you're building awareness, you're going to stop over trading. You're going to stop revenge trading. You're going to stop letting emotions run the show. And you're going to not have that kind of Hail Mary attitude 24/7. You will have that. It creeps in if you're in a rush or whatever. Sometimes I do it, but you're not going to have that, okay? You're going to start taking high probability setups. Now, if you follow the way that I trade from extreme levels, which are high probability levels of liquidity, right? This is going to help me cut losses quickly. It's also going to allow me to follow the plan. That's what you need to do, okay? When you're aware, wait for high probability levels. And when you're aware and you take trades not in good trade locations, you're going to learn how to cut that trade very early and accept that that was the wrong place for you to take the trade, okay? So awareness, discipline, profitability is how you're going to move forward when it comes to this. I like the 3 Ps. I got it from Will, someone that I know, and he talks about peace, profit, and purpose. And I've kind of brought that into to our community. Peace, profit, and purpose. And if you can do stress-free trading, this is really going to help you become a stress-free trader. Okay, because what? You're going to be aware of your emotions. You're going to be aware of how you are before, during, and after the market. Okay, so very, very important that you take this away. Peace, profit, and purpose. So as always, God bless. I'll see you in the next one. See you on the live trading. Take care, and I hope everyone is doing well. God bless.